Hare Krishna, everybody. Danvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Welcome to Bhakti Community, McKinney. Let's start our program today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So we will sing Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
ओ हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai,
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram,
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Ho Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Radhe.
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radhe.
Jayo Radha Kala Changi Radha Kala Changi Radhe.
Jaya Radha Kalachari Radhe.
Jayo Jagannath Jayo Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jaya Subhadra.
Jai Ho Jagannath, Jai Ho Jagannath, Jai Ho Baldeva, Jai Ho Subhadra.
Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me.
Jagannath Swami,
Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman
Jaya Sitaram, Hanuman, Sitaram, Hanuman.
Pati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram
Raghupati Raja Ram Pati
Sitaram Sitaram Madhya Pyare Tu Sitaram
सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे तो सीताराम
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai.
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada
Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva
Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Gurudevaya, Jai Ho Gurudevaya.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakarya Astotara Sata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
जय
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakarya Astotara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki,
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki,
Jai.
Ramacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki,
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की
Jai.
ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की
Jai.
मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की
Jai.
गौतम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
Jai.
गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की
Jai.
तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की
Jai.
सामवेद भक्त वृंद की
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे
Hare
all glorious assembled devotees
Krishna.
all glorious assembled devotees
Hare Krishna.
all glorious assembled devotees
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
all glorious to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glorious to Srila Prabhupada. We can all sing this together. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi
सरस्वती देवे गौरी
Ani
वाणी
Prachari
प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य
Dharani.
Shatya.
Our prayer to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, how's everyone doing? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Are you tired? You're on break.
No.
How are you tired? Right, whoa. So who all do we have? We have Vishal, we have Mummy, we have Bhakti Priya Mataji, and we have Peace. Aibo. We have Mataji. We have Renuka and Abhinav Prabhu. Haribo. Good to see all of you. Oh, you have a different setting today, Mataji. You're not on the stairs.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I
Right.
also noticed that.
We were two men down.
Sai Prabhu. What's that?
We were two men down.
Oh, two people down. Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay, so today we are going to continue our reading from chapter 7. Chapter 7 is titled, what is it titled? Vishal. Knowledge of the Absolute. Okay. And so far, what we have read is, here, let me share my screen. Okay, so far what we've read is we have understood that the mind is very hard to control. And Arjuna asks Krishna that, Krishna, can you please teach me what is the right way for us to remember you? So then Krishna explained multiple ways in which you can see Krishna around, right? You can feel the presence of Krishna. Then he also explained all these energies which you're seeing around are coming from me, right? They are all my divine energies. Then Krishna also explained that there are three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And everyone who's come down to this material world, we get deluded or we get covered by these three modes, right? We are actually not this body, we are the soul. And the soul is eternal, right? We are Satchit Ananda. But when we actually fall down from the spiritual sky into this material world, this material realm, we get covered by these three modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And when we get covered, sometimes we are in our mode of goodness, sometimes we act in the mode of passion, sometimes we act in the mode of ignorance, right? Then Krishna also explains that this divine energy, which consists of these three modes, these are very, very difficult to overcome. Okay, we cannot overcome this on our own. However, somebody who has surrendered to me is in capitals here, Krishna, that person can cross beyond it, right? So he explains. So have you heard of an escape room? Who has gone to an escape room? Show of hands. Okay, Bhakti Priya Mataji, Shal. Pranav,
Virtual one. Gone to a virtual one.
What was that? Virtual room. Okay. Okay. Renuka Mataji, Abhinav Prabhu. Mummy doesn't know. Okay, so who's going to explain what is the escape room? Let's ask Pranav. Do you know what an escape room is, Pranav?
I didn't really go to one.
But do you know what it is?
I mean, I did watch some videos, but that was like a few years ago, so I don't remember.
Okay. Okay, let's ask Abhinav Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu, please tell us what is an escape room?
So an escape room is a place where you go into with a usually with a few more people, with a team, and it's a place where you have clues inside it. So the theory is that you are locked inside that room and you have a situation that you are facing, and you have a certain timeline to get out of that room. And within that room, there are clues hidden at different places, and one clue would lead to another clue, and eventually you would find all the answers to all the clues that would get you the keys or a way to get out of that room.
Correct. And were you able to find all the clues by yourself, or did you need help?
Obviously, I mean, it's not possible for one person to find all the clues on its own. So you need a team of people working together.
You need a team, correct. So now, do you all think we are in an escape room?
Yep.
Yes. What is the escape room, Vishal?
The escape room is humanity and us and
So the escape room is this material world, right? We are all stuck in this material world, and we are in a vicious cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, right? Okay, so let's ask Nanika now. So now that we're stuck in this escape room, how do we get out? We need some clues, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So here Krishna is giving us a clue, right? It's very difficult for us to overcome, very difficult for us to get out of this material world. So what is the clue he's giving us?
To surrender.
Yes, so anybody who surrenders to him can easily cross beyond it. Now, in an escape room, you were not alone, right? You needed a team. So who is our team here? We need a team to get out.
the devotee.
The devotees, yes. So let's ask Nanika again. Nanika, who's on your team?
My mom.
Not mom, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, Pranav, who's on your team?
My dad.
Yeah, your parents, yes. So the main thing here is we should remember that we're not alone. We need a team. If you think that you're going to do this by yourself, you'll be stuck here for a really, really, really long time. So we need a team. And if you remember, in an escape room, you also needed a leader, right? Somebody who was giving directions, like a manager, right? Telling you what to do. So here, in this scenario, our leader or team leader is our spiritual master, right? Our spiritual master. So if you have a boat and you're in an ocean, right? On that boat, you need a captain. So the captain is your spiritual master, okay? The spiritual master is guiding you where you should take the ship so you can get out of this material world. Now, you also need some favorable winds, right? For your boat to move, right? So those favorable winds are all the devotees and the literature, right? All the Shastra which we read. Those are all the favorable winds which we have. So now Krishna has told us, all right, you're in this material world, that's your escape room. However, I'm giving you some clues. You can actually come out. How? By surrendering onto me. So now we're going to read a little bit more from text 15. And here Krishna is going to explain that people who are very, very foolish, right, who are lowest among the mankind, whose knowledge is stolen, those people don't surrender to me. So who are the people who don't surrender, who are stuck in this the cycle that Krishna is going to explain?
Demons.
Yeah, so we'll start with 15, and let's have Pranav. Pranav, you can read. Pranav and Sai Prabhu, both of you can read.
Wow, foolish.
Namam dushkritino mudhaha
Namam
prapadyante naradhamaha Mayaya parita jnana Asuram bhavamashitaha
Okay.
Okay. Should I read?
Yes.
Okay. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons do not surrender unto me.
Yeah, so such people, they don't surrender, right? Okay, let's read the purport.
Okay. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering oneself unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Krishna, one can surmount the stringent laws of material nature. At this point, a question arises. How is that educated philosophers, scientists, businessmen, administrators, and all the leaders of ordinary men do not surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the all-powerful personality of Godhead? Mukti, or liberation from the laws of material nature, is sought by the leaders of mankind in a different way and with great plans and perseverance for a great many years and births. But if that liberation is possible by simply surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then why don't these intelligent and hardworking leaders adopt this simple method?
Right?
The Gita.
So far, what Srila Prabhupada is explaining is that Krishna is explaining it very easily, that all you need to do is surrender onto him, right? If this process is so simple, why are people not surrendering, right? This is what Srila Prabhupada is bringing up. Everybody wants mukti, everybody wants liberation, right, from the laws of material nature. However, they are trying to persevere for so many years and births. Why don't they just take this simple method, right? That's the question Srila Prabhupada is putting across. Okay, let's continue.
The Gita answers this question very frankly. Those really learned leaders of society like Brahma, Shiva, Kapila, the Kumaras, Manu, Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Janaka, Prahlada, Bali, and later on Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Sri Chaitanya, and many others, who are faithful philosophers, politicians, educators, scientists, etc. Surrender to the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, the all-powerful authority. Those who are not actually philosophers, scientists, educators, administrators, etc., but who pose themselves as such for material gain, do not accept the plan or path of the Supreme Personality of the Supreme Lord. They have no idea of God. They simply manufacture their own worldly plans and consequently complicate the problems of material existence in their vain attempts to solve them. Because material energy is so powerful, it can resist the unauthorized plans of the atheists and baffle the knowledge of planning commissions. The, the atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word dushkritaha or miscreants. Kriti means one who has performed the
Meritorious work.
mer- meritorious work. The atheist plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist's brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called Dushkriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. In the Gita, it is clearly mentioned that material energy works fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. It has no independent authority. It works as the shadow moves in accordance with the movements of the object. But still, material energy is very powerful, and the atheist, due to his godless temperament, cannot know how it works, nor can he know the plan of the Supreme Lord. Under illusion of the modes of passion and ignorance, all his plans are baffled, as in the case of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, whose plans were smashed to dust, although they were materially learned as scientists, philosophers, administrators, and educators. These Dushkritinas or miscreants are of four different patterns, as outlined below.
So
1.
so far, yeah. So far, what Srila Prabhupada has explained is he's first explained who are the people who don't surrender, right? First, he asked us the question that when the process is so simple, Krishna is explaining that all you have to do is surrender to get out of this material world. People want to get out, but they're not able to surrender, right? Why is that? That was the first question he posed. Second, he said was that who are these people who are not surrendering, right? These are called the miscreants. There are four types of miscreants. So now Srila Prabhupada is going to explain those four types.
Okay, you can read.
The mudhas are those who are grossly foolish, like hardworking beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish fruity worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma is meant for yajna. Most
Yeah.
often, those who
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Yes.
Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear the immortality of the living being. To such mudhas, material gains which are destructible are lives all in all, despite the fact that mudhas enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of labor. Sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gain, and although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters, ignorant of their real master. The foolish workers waste their valuable time serving Mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the supreme master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweet meats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will untiringly continue to hear of the sense enjoyable tidings of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world.
Please share, Prabhuji, a little bit who are the first type, the Mudas?
Mudhas are foolish. They simply always lives in the materialistic world.
Yeah.
They don't understand the Supreme Personality, and they just want, like, some kind of a material pleasure, and they spend sleepless nights, day and nights, for fruitive gain, but indirectly they damage their health, their time. They waste their time with the material pleasures.
Correct. Yes.
They
So
never
those are-
understand they never understand they never understand the value of the spiritual pleasure.
right. Exactly. Like
Exactly.
yeah. So that is the first one. Okay. Second one. Would somebody else like to read? Let's see if. Okay, Adya. Read in such a way that you are able to explain what you read. So if you need to go slow, you can go slow. Okay, go ahead.
Number 2. Another class of Duskriti. How do you pronounce that?
Or
Duskriti.
miscreant. Mhm.
Or miscreant is called the Naradham.
Narama.
Or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being, and Adhama means the lowest. Out of the
8.4 million.
8.4 million different species of living beings, there are 400,000 human species. Out of these, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed but who have no religious principles must be considered Narathamas. Nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principles is known
Is to
is
know.
to know the supreme truth and man's relation with him.
So
In
that
the
is the
Gita,
purpose of religion, right? What is the purpose of religion? If somebody asks you, what is the purpose of religion, Adya? What will you say?
I didn't
Purpose
hear you
of religion
say it
are two
again.
things, right? There are two things. One is to know the supreme truth, like who is the supreme personality of Godhead, and what is our relationship with him, right?
Mhm.
So what are the different kinds of religions we know? Name some religions.
Hindu,
Yes.
Buddhist.
Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, right?
Yes.
There's so many, right? So many religions. So what is the purpose? What is the purpose of religion? The purpose of religion are two things. One is to know the Supreme Lord, right? Supreme Lord, and what is our relationship with him, right? Those are the two main purposes. Okay, please continue. In the
Actually, someone else can go. I mean, I
you
don't
want
get this.
something to go? Okay. Okay, we have Renuka Mataji. She has her hand up.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna,
Mata.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question actually here.
Okay.
So in the second line, here it says there are 400,000 human species. So what does that mean? Like a human being like us? Or it's the species on a different planets?
No. All on the same material universe, but like, like you can have Do you know Mataji, Bhakti Priya Mataji? All the different classes?
Like giants, dwarfs, there are human beings also, right? So there are so many 400,000 species, different
Oh,
species.
such a research.
So does
People
it mean
fly, sir.
among
All
humans?
come under human beings only, but they are just different species. That's all.
Yeah.
So does it mean among humans there are 400,000 kinds of humans?
Different.
Yes.
And this is not
There are
just,
giants.
and
Yeah,
don't,
there are in the
and
history.
just
There are
now, in all the
like
4 yugas.
like
Okay.
Ghatotkacha. Ghatotkacha is a giant, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in the history, right? So like giant dwarfs are there. So
Yeah.
they're all human beings only, but they are different species.
Yes, Mummy, you have a question?
Yeah, no, I don't have a question, but I was just wanted to tell that living beings means he was starting from evolution. If you see, they are all living beings, started from species and, fish and amphibians and all that. But human species are 4 lakhs.
Yeah, 4. And this is for all the yugas, not just Kali Yuga, what we're seeing right now. Okay, let's continue, Mataji. You can read. You and Prabhu can read from here.
Sure, you want to read?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In the Gita.
In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above him and he is the supreme truth. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, who is all powerful. Whoever loses his chance is classified as a Naradhama. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he is eternally related to God.
Okay, let's wait here. Has this ever happened to you? To anyone? That when we pray to God when we are in difficulty?
Always.
Always?
Only in difficulty.
Only in difficulty. This is
more in difficulty.
Yeah. This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. To pray to God when we are in difficulty is a natural instinct, in every living being because he's eternally related to God. Okay. But after his deliverance, we forget, right? Okay, let's read that.
But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusionary energy.
Right? How many times it's happened? We are in difficulty, we pray, Krishna, please, this time you help me. After that, I will not do this again. Never it will happen. And then again it happens, right? So many times that happens that again we have committed that same mistake and then we're like, oh, Krishna, again, please help me, right? So this is what has been happening to all of us for millions of lifetimes. What Srila Prabhupada is saying is, when we are a small baby in the womb of our mother, it's a very, very difficult situation. Lots of worms. Imagine this baby is in very small space. All of us have been through that. We are in the amniotic fluid. We have lots of worms which are like pinching the body and cannot breathe, cannot move, right? And this baby is thinking at this time, we all pray that Krishna, it is a natural instinct that please help us. We don't want to again come back in this material world. But as soon as we come out in this material world, we forget everything. And again, we are stuck in this Maya jal. Okay. So now what is our duty? Okay, go ahead, Prabhu.
It is the duty of the guardian of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them.
So who are the guardians of children?
Parents,
teachers, anybody who is guarding.
Who's on your team, right? We spoke about our team. Okay. So the duty of the guardians of children is to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. So everybody has this consciousness in us. It is something like when a small child is about to walk, right? The parent says, get up, walk, walk, take the finger and walk. The mummy must be remembering, how she made me walk.
So
Right?
that is why they say, the upbringing is very important.
Yeah.
How is your upbringing? What is the culture? And what type of a devotional thing you have put into your children while they are growing? That is very important, I feel.
Yes. So the point here is, it is dormant, just like how walking is dormant in us, right? It is within us. Like nobody really taught us, oh, read this book, do this, certification course. Now you are a certified walker, right? It doesn't happen like that. But it is dormant instinct within us that we start walking. Same way, Krishna consciousness is dormant within us. This is something which we should remember. Each one of us, we know who we are, but we have forgotten that. And that we have to just revive. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. The 10 processes.
The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies as enjoined in Manusmriti, which is the guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashrama. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is Naradama. When the whole population becomes Naradama, naturally all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog eater. That is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityanand Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradhamas, the brothers Jagai and Madhai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon lowest of mankind. So the Naradama, who is condemned by the personality of Godhead, can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee.
Correct. So only by the mercy of a devotee can we actually revive our instinct, our Krishna conscious instinct. So all we have to do, so this is what Srila Prabhupada said. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, whoever you see, whoever you meet, all you have to tell them is about Krishna. And then automatically Krishna becomes very, very happy seeing that you're somehow bringing them back home, back to God. So tell them about Krishna in a nice way, like let us say you see your friends, right, at school, right? Now Vishal, Nenika, and Pranav are at school, right? You see your friends at school, you're having, what's your favorite prasadam you eat? Let's ask Nenika. What's your favorite prasadam, Nenika?
Okra rice.
Okra rice. Okay. So now your friend asks you, oh, Nenika, what are you having? You say okra rice. And then, your friend is asking you, so why are you vegetarian? Right?
Why they ask that?
I'm asking, why are you vegetarian, Nenika? What would be your answer?
Because I have the choice to.
Okay.
I don't really know what a good answer would be.
So let's go around the room and ask Pranav. Okay, Pranav, why are you vegetarian, Pranav?
I'm vegetarian because I don't want to hurt animals.
Nice answer. Okay.
And
Why?
also, and I think Krishna really loves animals, so he wouldn't want us to hurt animals.
Beautiful. Okay. Let's go to Vishal. Vishal, why are you vegetarian? And sorry, and Pranav, what was your favorite prasadam?
Tamarind rice. It's really
Tamarind
nice.
rice. Okay. Okra rice, tamarind rice. Let's go to Vishal. Favorite prasadam and why are you vegetarian?
My favorite prasadam is
yellow rice and lemon rice. And my reason why I am vegetarian is because I am naturally vegetarian, and that's it.
Okay, nice. And Adya?
So my favorite prasadam, I mean, I have multiple favorite prasadams. Like,
Give us a few.
Ice cream, laddu, sweet.
Not yours, Mataji. We're not asking you. Yes, Adya.
yellow rice. I mean,
Yellow rice? Okay. And if somebody asks you, so Adya, why are you vegetarian? What are you going to tell them?
because it's illegal hurting animals and
Right? Because
eating fish.
yeah, beautiful answers, right? So this is what you can share. See, even all of you, right, can share that. Why are you vegetarian? Because animals have feelings, and Krishna loves animals, like how Pranav said. And this is how you can actually share very nicely to your friends also, right? So this is what Mahaprabhu says, that we have to, only by the mercy of a devotee, see, all of you are devotees, only by the mercy of a devotee, you can share these feelings to your friends, right? And all of us can do that. Okay. Let's continue.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavad Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest among human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only, but unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception to these messages. And what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord? Naradhamas, or the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of human being.
Okay. Let's have Renuka Mataji, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Third. So these are the third type. So first was, what was the first type? Who remembers?
Mudhas.
Second?
Mudhas.
Foolish
Yes.
people.
Yes. Second, Mudhas, Naradhama. Now third is Dushkriti.
Dushkriti.
Okay.
The next class of Dushkriti is called Maya
Maya
Paharta
Pahrata Jnana.
Jana, or those person who erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are a great number of Maya Paharta Janaha at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is none equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is the root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma, the super soul in every entity in his plenary portion. He is the fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Paharta Janana deride the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Paharta Janana, outside the purview of the Parampara system, are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle.
Nice. Okay, let's read about the fourth class, Vishal and Lalita Mataji.
The last class of Daskriti is called Asuram Bhavam Ashrita, or those of demonic principles. This class is openly aesthetic. Some of them argue atheistic. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. There
So
are
what
others who
did
may
you understand? Did you understand what that said? Do you know what atheistic means?
no.
So atheistic are, let's see if Nanika knows. Do you know who are atheistic people?
Atheists are people who like don't believe in God or like religion and stuff like that.
So these are the people who don't believe in God. They're like, oh, there's no God, right? So those are the atheistic, and they argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world. So if somebody asks you, no, there's no God, they're atheistic. What would your reason be to tell them that how will you tell them that no, there's actually Krishna? And what kind of examples can you give them?
Example number one is, why not would there be a God if there are so many religions around the whole world, as many as there are humans on earth? So why not there be a Supreme Lord of all lords?
Nice. Okay. Bhakti Priya Mataji, somebody asks you, or somebody says, oh, I don't believe in God. What are you going to tell them?
So in the scripture, the examples are given to explain this process. So for example, we can say when we see a painting, can we say there is the painting formed without a painter behind it? The painter is there, right? Without painter, the painting cannot exist. Just like that, the creation is there means we can see the creation. We might not be able to see God who created it, but there is definitely a creator behind the creation. So our senses are not, we cannot even see sun directly. So how can we see God who created the sun, who is beyond sun? So that's one way to go about. But there are so many other reasons we can give also.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Natika is raising her
Yes,
hand.
Nanika has a question.
Okay, so in my opinion, I would leave them alone. Like I wouldn't really tell them anything because it's their opinion on how they see it. So
Nice. I like your answer. Yeah, it's very important. So it's very important who we speak to or share these ideas, because sometimes what is the main purpose of Krishna consciousness? The main purpose of Krishna consciousness is that we want to leave everyone with a good impression, right? We don't want to show them or show that, hey, we are better than you, right? That is not our intention. Or you don't know who God is, so then you're not as good. No, everybody is a child of Krishna. Krishna loves everyone, and we want to leave everyone with a good impression. Some are ripe and some are not ripe, right? And I really like your point, very thoughtful, because if somebody is not ripe, we don't want to leave them with a bad impression that they don't come to this path, right? So if somebody asks you, Nanika, that, oh, why do you believe in God? Why do you believe in Krishna? What would your answer be?
My answer would be because I believe in God because there's not a valid reason to how this world was created or how the universe was created if there wasn't a creator behind it, which is God.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. So those are atheistic, Vishal. Okay. So atheistic people are people who don't, they say that there is no God. They argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they're unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. Right? Like the example what Bhakti Priya Mataji gave, right? About the painting. They'll be like, no, this painting just showed up. Right? They don't give any tangible reasons as to why not. Okay. Please continue.
There are others who make him subordinate to the personal feature, although the opposite is declared in Gita. The envious of Supreme Personality of Godhead, atheists will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons whose very principles of life is to decry the personality of Godhead cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna.
So such person also cannot surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. So we are talking about the 4 people who cannot surrender, right, to Krishna. Okay, the last part. Mataji, you can read now.
Sri Yamunacharya Alabandharu of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved with atheistic principles, despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite your personalities being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities, renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities. Therefore, one grossly foolish persons to
Who are
the
Mudas,
lowest
right? First one were the Mudas. Okay, second.
to the lowest of mankind, Naradhamas. 3. The deluded speculators. And 4. The professed atheists. As above mentioned, never surrender unto the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead in spite of all scriptural and authoritative advice.
And to such people, if we find such people, we should take the advice of Nainika. What is the advice of Nainika? Just let them be. Just let them be. And it will give us and them, peace of mind, right? So that's a very, very important point. Okay. So we'll stop here. Any questions?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
I have a
Mataji.
question. So, Prabhuji, why do we feel disconnected sometimes from Krishna?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, like don't want to do chanting or just don't want to offer prasadam or anything like bhogas to Krishna, or sometimes it feels too much.
Because we don't have the taste, Mataji. We've not developed the taste. Like for example, you take a small baby, right? When the baby is born, he's having his mom's milk, right? He's just having liquid food. But as soon as you give the baby something better to taste, right? Ice cream. Like what was Mataji saying? Laddu, ice cream. Imagine if, right? Somebody takes that and then you give them like, like all that, like crushed apple or apple thing, right? Which babies get, baby food, you will not have it, right? Because we've got a higher taste, right? Right now, we have not got that higher taste. Because we have not been able to taste it, that's why, we are not feeling enjoyment. We feel like, oh, let us chant our rounds, As soon as our rounds are done, okay, now let's do something practical. Let's do something. It's over now. Let me do something. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, what was coming on TV? कौन सी movie चल रही है?
Yeah. And let's not take a look at feeds again.
That is the difference, right? That is the difference. So one main thing is we should not feel discouraged, because as soon as you come into this mode of you need to have self-love. Self-love is very, very important. You always need to love yourself, that yes, I'm doing my best. I want to do a little bit better than yesterday, but you should never go into this mode of being guilty, that, oh, I'm terrible, I haven't done this, I'm useless, I have understood all the teachings, but still I'm not taking this seriously. If you go into that mode, then you'll never be able to pick yourself up. Like when a small child falls, right? Baby's learning how to walk, falls. If the parent says, no, you're not good, you'll never be able to walk, right? That's not encouraging. But what does the parent do? Very lovingly, the parent again picks the child up. No, walk. You'll be able to walk. Please go ahead, right? Same way, we have to tell that to our mind. Our mind is like our child, and we have to train our mind to get up. Whenever you fall down, you get up. You get up from there, and again you start, practicing. So, Bhakti Priya Mataji or Sai Prabhu, do you want to add something to this?
The Yoga Maya is born along with Krishna. So Maya is always covered. And as long as you're living in this materialistic world, you're attached to these materialistic things. That's not bad. As Srila Prabhupada mentioned in Sri Bhagavatam, I was reading Bhagavatam book. You're slowly going through this process. You cannot, one day you cannot attain, one night you cannot achieve this. Slowly, by age of 50 years, probably you start more seriously into the spiritual Krishna consciousness. But if you're in Gruhastha Dharma, you need to have some responsibilities. Maybe you slow down the things on the spiritual side, but you still hold those things, slowly, as Prabhuji said. Start doing, if you cannot do 16 rounds of chanting, at least start one time of chanting, at least with one time with full of Krishna consciousness. And and if you do some seva in the Radha Kalachinji temple, show some respect around the people, do service, show some love around other people, that's kind of a going into slowly into Krishna consciousness. That's what I'm saying.
Nice, thank you, Prabhu. Mataji, you want to give some final thoughts? Bhakti Priya Mataji.
Well, I also struggle with that, Mataji. Everybody, at different levels, at every level, at every stage, we fall down. That is there dormant in our system. We came here to this planet because we did not want to be with Krishna. That was the original reason, right? So once we get attached to Krishna, once we are completely attached, then we can go back. We are still here because we are still attached to non-Krishna activities, right? We are still attached. So when we get there, we will go back. But to get there, we have to practice. We have to stay determined, and we have to be enthusiastic. And there is Utsahan Dharyat, that is there. That sloka is there, Nectar of Instruction, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So that is very, very, those are the 6 important qualities to keep ourselves enthused. I also feel dull sometimes, I feel like I'm not doing enough, or because we are not in the association of devotees. When we are in the association of devotees, these other thoughts, other things will not come into our mind, because devotees carry Krishna in their hearts, and that's where bhakti will be spread, right? So we should not if we go towards blaming game, right, blaming because I could not do because of them or myself, then we cannot move forward. Like whatever is done, we'll just start over again. Just start over, that's it. So that's how I do it sometimes.
Nice.
I start over again, start fresh. The next day morning, start fresh. So
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
Mataji.
So,
thank you.
Prabhuji, actually, this thought came because I was actually listening to this session on YouTube by Amog Leela Prabhuji, and he said, when you feel like that, sometimes it's not you feeling detachment from Krishna, it's actually Krishna leaving you. So that scared me a lot. Like, what if Krishna is literally leaving you? I mean, because that's how
Mataji,
you are feeling.
will a parent ever leave the child? Never. 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 Yeah, never. Whatever happens, even if the child does something terrible, parent loves the child. Parent will never leave the child, no matter what. Krishna is always there. He has been our only friend. Krishna is sitting right next to us in our heart. Not for this lifetime, millions of lifetimes. Krishna will never leave you, right? So just be enthusiastic, determined, and just dive in, Mataji. Go for it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good. And Vishal Prabhu, you have a question.
Krishna was the person who created everything. Then, for other religions, why doesn't he talk about other religions? And if he's also the supreme lord of all other religions.
Nice question. So the main thing is, Krishna says in the 18th chapter, we're going to be reading, he says that just give up everything. Give up all religions, and all you have to do is just surrender onto me. He talks about Sharanagati, right? Even in this chapter, we were reading about surrender. He said that Arjuna, I'm not sharing my screen. The only way you can come out of this material world is by surrender, right? Who surrender onto me. And what is the purpose of all the religions? The purpose of the religion is to know who Krishna is and what is our relationship to him, right? So the main thing which we should remember here is Bhagavad Gita is not talking about any religion. Bhagavad Gita is only talking about who is the Lord and how can we love him, right? Now, there can be many paths to come to a destination, correct? There can be many different paths. Some paths can be shorter, some paths can be longer. But if all those paths are coming to the same destination, then it's okay what path somebody chooses, right? But if they're coming to that path, which is to know Krishna and to develop their love for Krishna, then that's the main point. Hope that helps you.
Surrendering is not just easy. It's one day. Start like Prahlada. Start doing bhakti and do seva like Hanuma, and end up like Radha Mataji, like forget about everything and always in the Krishna consciousness. Even the Radha Mataji, even though married to someone, but she's always thinking about Krishna. So start like Prahlada and end up like Radha Mataji. That is what the bhakti is the way of life. It's a leading the life in a way. Slowly start with the bhakti and seva and the prema. That is the path.
Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll all, in talking about Prahlad Maharaj, let us sing beautiful Narsingha Arti. And this is, we're all going to sing together, and this is glorifying Narsingha Dev. Okay, is everyone ready? Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Yato yato yami tato narasimha Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Avakara Kamalavare Satam Adbhuta Shriyam Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadita Narahati Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsingadev Narsingadev Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल So I did not ask all the Prabhujis and Matajis what are your favorite prasadam. So let's go around the room. Let's start with Abhinav Prabhu. I know what's his favorite.
Prabhuji, everything, anything and everything except chole, Prabhuji.
All right, Mataji.
Prabhuji chole.
Amazing.
So
Okay.
everything is covered, Prabhuji.
Perfect. Adya, is your mom there? Okay. If she's not there, that's fine. We can move to Lalita Mataji.
It's all right.
Tamarind rice.
Tamarind rice. Okay, yellow rice and tamarind rice close by. Sai Prabhu.
What's tamarind?
Sai Prabhu.
Tamarind rice, Prabhuji.
I ate it.
Okay.
That is, I think, puliyogre.
Okay, yes. What is yours, Mataji? Vasudha Mataji.
Mine is pie. Kheer.
Okay, all right. And
Me and
Bhakti
Bhakti Priya Mataji are sweet favorite. When she comes over, we both will eat all types of sweets.
Lots
Nice.
of, yeah.
And mommy, yours?
Gulab jamun. Sweet.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice. So looking forward.
Shri Prabhupada always take the example with gulab jamun only.
So looking forward now, once COVID is all gone and we all meet together. Now we're meeting, right? Abhinav Prabhu and Renuka Mataji's house, April. So everybody keep your calendars free. We'll all meet, in a month time. And that time we can all have all these favorite, items. Okay.
From June, I will also join you guys.
June, all right, Mataji.
They're waiting for
Looking
you.
forward to it.
Yes, Mataji, I'm waiting also. Can't wait.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Hare Krishna.